What's going on, y'all? You already know, man. It's Thierry Vio on the channel Trillionaire Hustle, back at it again with another video for y'all, man, helping y'all build your financial muscle. But anyway, man, today is gonna be a good video. I always feel like all my videos is good, man. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what y'all think, man. But anyway, so this video today, it's a good. So I want to do Tuesdays like solid pillar companies. I'm an immigrant, so sometimes it's hard for me to pronounce certain words. So the word pillar. What does the word pillar mean? A tall vertical structure or statue made of stone, wood, or metal used as a support for a building, or an ornament or monument, right? I feel everybody's portfolio should have 4 pillars. 4 pillars are 4 companies that are they're just not going anywhere, man. It's like they're not gonna go anywhere. They're solid, they make money. They might not produce the biggest increase in income, but they're solid though. They're like a good saving account, is what I like to call it. They're like a good saving account. So one of those companies I'm gonna talk about today, man, is Microsoft. Microsoft is it's a beautiful company. It's a beautiful company. I think Microsoft is a beautiful company. The way they got the game sold up, the way they make money, and I just think it's one of those things you gotta have in your portfolio. You could have Microsoft in your portfolio on a reoccurring investment type of thing. Like, okay, it's in your portfolio every month, you throw a little bit of money in there. You're not even really caring about the price or whatever. Obviously, every month you checking to see how it's doing. But for the most part, you just putting money in there, man. You just putting money in there. You trust the process in that company. You trust the paperwork of that company, man. But let's just talk about some of the numbers for Microsoft, man. $235 a share. Seems steep, but you could get into fractional shares and you could just, you know what I mean, build your over time. In the last 5 years, the stock market in this technology sector has returned 112%. Microsoft has returned 375%. It's like, come on, man. 375% compared to all the other technology companies in that sector that have returned 112%, I believe. They pay a dividend, 0.97%, meaning for every $100 you make 97 cents. So if you buy one share for $2.35, that equals out to about $2.24, right? Broken up obviously into either quarters, month, semi-annually, or annually, right? And it's like the market cap of the company is 1.74 trillion. That's trillion with a T, just like this channel, Trillionaire Hustle. Come on, man. This trillion. Market cap 1.74. Now, another thing we don't usually talk about is enterprise value. Enterprise value is the market cap, how much the business is worth, plus its debt, right? So market cap is 174. When you factor in the enterprise value is 169. I mean, it only drops by about what, 0.5 billion? Usually the enterprise value is way more than the market cap because the company has a lot of debt, and that's what doesn't get factored into the market cap. But anyway, let's move along, man. It's like this one is just so smooth and so good. Like, all right. Then we go to their debt, right? I always talk about I don't like debt and whoop-de-woo and all that good stuff, right? Their long-term debt, how much debt they have on the books right now, long-term, 55 billion. Guys, they have 131.9. So 132 billion on cash on hand right now. That means they could wipe off that debt completely, their long-term debt. Long-term debt is different from short-term debt. Short-term debt means they need money right now to do certain things. Long-term debt could means like, okay, they built a big facility and they're on contract to pay that debt back over a long term. Excuse me. Right? But anyway, we're just gonna try to keep it short. Long-term debt is 55 billion, which equals to about 30%, still under that 30 range, I like to say. But their total cash is 131 billion, meaning they could take out that debt out today like that and still be left with about 80 billion in cash. Like, come on, man. Yo, you're not touching Microsoft. You're not touching Microsoft. You gotta stop fronting on Microsoft, man. Microsoft is a beautiful company, man. That's one of them companies you just own and you just throw money in there. You're like, all right, this is good. Obviously, 50 years or 60 years from now, I don't know, maybe not. But something might come out just like Microsoft, but that's better because, you know, products just get better over time. And you take all them profits you've been making for Microsoft over the time and you move it along to that. But for the time being, for the next 30, 40, 50 years, I don't really see nothing compete with Microsoft, man, because the way they got the game on lock. Now we done ran through the numbers. Now I'm going to run through some of their stats. Like, you feel me? Guys, every business, I think, I say 90% of businesses across the world use some form of Microsoft product. 90 businesses, not even regular consumer businesses, use some form of Microsoft product. Using Excel, Outlook, PowerPoint, OneDrive, LinkedIn, Azure, which is one of the biggest cloud solutions out there. All of that is Microsoft. All of that is Microsoft. We're not even gonna talk about Xbox, which is like there's only 2 games in the system, Xbox and PS5. Then they got one of them. Like, come on, man. These guys been around since 1975. So that means they've been around 25 years plus 2021 is 20. So they've been around, what, 46 years? They're blue bloods. They're right about to cross into that pillar, but I already consider them a pillar. But they're blue bloods. They've been around for a while. They're consistent. They're making money. Guys, their last 5 years of return, 91, this is in billions, 91, 96, 110, 125, and 143. So you see how the more years come, the closer we get to the years we are now, the bigger the jumps are. The bigger the jumps are. That means that company have so much money that the compound interest is now kicking in on the company as a whole of how much money they're making and how they're making money. And they just, the gaps are becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. They're not going up by 2-3% no more. They're going up by 5%, 10%, 20% a year now. They just making money hands over fist, man. And listen, okay, we already talked about, I think 90% of business use Microsoft, but every computer used today, PC computer around the world, 77% of them use a Microsoft operating system, meaning Windows. Like 80, that's 8 out of 10 computers. Every time somebody turn out a computer, 8 out of 10, like, is a Microsoft computer, is a Microsoft operating system, so it's right in front of your eyeballs. So for another company to come in and to take away that market share, you're gonna have to do a whole lot. You're gonna have to do it's gonna be hard for you to compete with Microsoft. It's gonna be hard for you to really compete with Microsoft, man. So I just think, like I said, it's one of them companies you put in your portfolio. It's a pillar. You just put money at it, man. And you just let that money grow over there. The money's gonna grow. They're gonna continue with the products, and they're so into businesses. Like, they're sold up into businesses. They're sold up into personal use. Like, everybody uses Microsoft without even thinking about it. That's how they making their money, man. And they're to the point. And they own, well, the person who used to run Microsoft, he's dead now, but his estate owned 2 sports teams. You know, I'm a sports guy. Come on, man. And since they've taken over those 2 sports franchises, they've completely changed the trajectory of those franchises. The Seahawks used to be the Seahawks used to be the bums of the NFL. Since Microsoft took over it, since around 1997, I believe, like early 2000, the Seahawks have been, you could say, a respectable team. They've been to 3 Super Bowls. They've had some Hall of Famers: Sean Alexander, Matt Hasselbeck, Richard Sherman, Bobby Wagner. I could keep going. Marshawn Lynch. Come on, like Cam Chancellor. Like, it's like when you're just a good business person and you do good business, everything else you touch around, you now start being great. So now that team is good. They also own the Portland Trailblazers, the Seattle Sounders, the soccer team. But the Portland Trailblazers, come on. Like, they had Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge at one point. These are bona fide stars. Greg Oden, if he didn't tear up his knee, would have still been out here doing this thing. Carmelo Anthony, greatest small forward to ever touch a basketball. I don't care what y'all say, man. Shout out to my boy Melo. I had to plug him in there. But like, you know, Damian Lillard, one of the probably top 2, top 3 best point guards in the league right now. Microsoft, man. Buy it, put it in your portfolio, save it. Man, I'm out. Like, subscribe, comment down below.